Hi Taurus, welcome to your November 2023 energy reading. My name is Kimberly from the Path Illuminated. If you are returning, thank you so much for your support. If you are new here, welcome. As I mentioned, this will be a general energy reading for the month of November for the Taurus Collective. So take the messages that resonate, leave the rest. This is not a personal reading, nor is it meant to be a personal reading. However, if you are interested in a personal reading, I will link all of the information below, including my website. I apologize in advance for any construction noise that might be going on. I do live in a big city and it seems quite impossible to avoid construction noise ever. So I'm doing my best. In any event, if you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, you can check out my links below at my website, check out the offerings. Please know that the only way to book a reading with me is via my website. I will never reach out to you directly to solicit a reading, and no legitimate reader will ever reach out to you to solicit a reading, so just be very aware of that. There are lots of scammers out there, so keep yourself safe. It is November 1st as I am recording these readings. We just had Halloween and Samhain yesterday, the 31st, and today is Dia de los Muertos. So if you celebrate, I hope that you are enjoying the season. It's also Scorpio season, and we just came through a really intense eclipse season. We had a solar eclipse on October 14th and then a lunar eclipse on the 28th. And, you know, I think both individually and collectively, the world is going through a lot of turmoil and chaos, and a lot of harsh truths are being revealed to us on a macro and micro scale. So Taurus, I hope you're taking care of yourself. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, you know, we are moving into the winter season, into the darker seasons. So it's a time of recalibration. It's a time of looking at the darker parts of ourselves as well as the world and utilizing that information to make higher, more aligned decisions. So in any event, Taurus, as I mentioned, this will be a general energy reading for the month of November. Always remember, Taurus, that you know yourself and your life better than anyone else. So always trust your own discernment and judgment over anyone else. And know that you have free will. So if something comes out in the reading that you're not super happy about, Taurus, remember that you can change your perspective. You can change how you deal with the person. You can change how you deal with the situation. And depending how we deal with situations and people, right, that changes options, that changes opportunities, that changes timelines. Energy is fluid. It's not in a stagnant state, right? The past, present, and future are all happening simultaneously, and our choices, our thoughts, our actions have an impact on that. So these energy readings are meant to give you some additional guidance, support, food for thought, a different perspective to help you on your way. So let's get started, Taurus. I'm going to start with pulling 5 cards for the overall energy. Then I'll pull clarifying cards, and then I'll close it out with an oracle card. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I have been creating monthly energy readings for the collective, but this month I am looking to start creating more frequent energy readings on a weekly basis. So if you're curious about staying up to date on what's going on, please make sure you subscribe. Thank you, angel spirits and guides, for helping me pull a clear and accurate reading for the Taurus collective for the month of November. Spirit, what messages, what insights, what feedback do you have for Taurus for the month of November? Thank you, angel spirits and guides. One more card for Taurus. clarifying deck. And, don't mind me, I've got a bit of a new setup once again. Although I do believe this setup is gonna be in place for a longer term than some of my other iterations. I've had some life transitions and have been clearing out and decluttering in all areas of my life, so I feel like now I have a proper setup for my divination practices. All right, Spirit, why is the Devil here for Taurus for November? Why is the Page of Swords in reverse here for Taurus? Why is the Five of Swords in reverse, Spirit? Why is the Five of Swords in reverse? Okay. Why is the Hierophant here, Spirit? Okay. And why is the Nine of Pentacles in reverse? Taurus. Interesting. Okay. I'm probably going to pull some additional cards to go deeper, but let's start with what's here, Taurus. All right, so the first card out, the Devil. Card of Capricorn, Earth energy. So the Devil represents all of the material things in life, the 3D reality, love, lust, money, material possessions, etc., etc. But the Devil in particular talks about overindulgence, obsessions, codependency, could even be, workaholism. But basically it's about toxic patterns and ways of being that are still sort of having a big impact and influence on the way that you are operating in the world, Taurus. So something to keep in mind, right, with regard to the individuals that are here in this card is that they have chains around their necks, right? But what's important to pay attention to is that the chains around their necks are loose, which means what? They have the opportunity, the ability, the wherewithal to decide that they no longer want to be bound by these chains if and when they so choose, right? So even if, Taurus, you have a habit of being in codependent relationships, work environments, if you're a control freak, if you have a history of workaholism, if you have a hard time trusting that you can operate without having an agenda, if you believe that you have to operate by the rules that those in power play by, right? Because the powers that be are so maladaptive, and so many individuals in our lives, whether it's parents or teachers or bosses or politicians, are so toxic and manipulative. Sometimes we can absorb and start to operate in that way without really understanding that. Now, what I see here is that there's an offer of love here. There's the Ace is a communication, a beginning of something very passionate. And just in looking at the cards in general, I am sort of getting that this very well may have to do with love and relationships, but put yourself where you go. This also very much could have to do with just generally your relationships. Doesn't necessarily have to be about love, but I think that this may have to do with your intimate connections, whether they're close friends, family members, close business associates, or romantic love. I think that there may be something that you want to start. Maybe there is somebody you're interested in. Maybe there's somebody that's been in your vicinity, Taurus. But you're kind of having a hard time finding the balance between love and money. And, it's interesting, something I always like to bring up, and, obviously not every person is super versed in astrology, and I'm not an astrologer yet, but I do love astrology, and, understanding my birth chart has helped me develop personally as a spiritual practice. And something I always like to remind individuals is that our Venus placement has to do with love, relationships, values, career, finances, life purpose, right? And I think sometimes we don't really see the parallels between our life purpose, our career, how we make money, and the way that we show up in relationships with other individuals. And so what I'm seeing here, right, is I do believe that you've been desiring love. There may even be somebody that you're considering, or it could just be this, like, you've been working right through your codependency and really have wanted to open your heart up to love, but there's been an imbalance with regard to being overly focused on work, on career, on finances. And that's understandable, especially given the state of the world right now, right? Like, it's chaos in all areas, and especially financially, right? And so I think that November is about you working through some of those imbalances within yourself, and an understanding, getting a better understanding, Taurus, of the fact that everything is interconnected. Your love life is not separate from your friendships, is not separate from your family dynamics, is not separated from how you make money or how you show up at work or the job that you choose. It's all interconnected. Now, Page of Swords. There may be, this could be you, this could be somebody else, but I'm getting you, Taurus, okay? I'm getting a lot of you coming through in this reading right now, and I think it's really understanding how much power you truly have and learning how to alchemize and direct it accordingly. So I think there may have been a fear about a new beginning, a fear about starting over, a fear about showing up as a page, doing something new, right? But you're coming out of that. You're coming out of the fear. You're like, you know what? Oh, well, this is a new way for me to communicate. This is a new way for me to show up with boundaries. I'm going to own this, right? Like, and I love to see this King of Swords, because it's like, I think that this is you finally realizing that even though this is a new way for you maybe to show up externally, right, Taurus? Hear what I'm saying. This may be a new way for you to communicate with people, getting better about being upfront and direct with respect, right? Communicating your boundaries, communicating your needs, learning how to become more adept at dealing with challenging conversations, and being grounded, not allowing, your insecurities or your emotions or your need to control or your fear of how you're perceived to stop you from showing up the way that you know how to. I think that you're working through and letting go of this imposter syndrome and understanding, like, I am the King of Swords, right? Like, I am this earth sign, right? That's very connected to nature, right? I see the butterflies and the crows and the trees, but I'm also logical, and I do have the ability and, the right to show up fully with who I am, and to say, you know what, even though you may not know me this way, right? Even though you're not used to me showing up this way, and some people might be like, whoa, Taurus, like, really blunt there. I think that this is time, right? And I think that that's going to help you sort through some of these imbalances. Now, Five of Swords, but it's in reverse. When Five of Swords is upright, this is winning at all costs. This is conflict. This is, arguments. This is, in some ways, needing to, it can be somebody or yourself not giving an F about how you come across, but you clearly care, right? And I think that you are really, really wanting to come from this grounded place. I love to see the Emperor. And for me, right, something I like to always remind people, there is no gender in tarot. We all, as individuals, embody both masculine and feminine energies, right? And so when I see the Emperor, for me, this is about having a balanced masculine energy and understanding that, like, you don't necessarily have to be mean or disrespectful in order to show up in your power and authority. And I also really love to see Taurus, this King of Swords, and the Emperor here together, because this is like earth energy, right? And this is air energy. Sorry, this is fire energy. This is Aries, but I'm getting really grounded. So I think that's why I was saying earth, and also obviously you're earth energy, you're an earth sign, but you're really, really grounded. You're very strong. You're very clear. People are going to respect you when you show up in this manner, right? The Hierophant. This is deepening your spiritual understanding, perhaps getting deeper with, what you're learning about the world around you, about the things you're passionate about. But it also, I think, again, like I said, I am getting love and relationships here, right? It's like when you can come to this place of balance, right, between your passion and your logic, Taurus, there's going to be an opportunity, I think, for a higher level of commitment that's very grounded and very passionate. Now, this commitment can be to yourself. It can be to spirit, right? To your guides, to your spiritual practices. It can be to another person. But overall, right, like I was saying earlier, when you come into balance within yourself, Taurus, it's going to bring opportunities for more committed, stable situations, connections, jobs, right, etc. Now, Knight of Pentacles is the next card. The Knights in Tarot are action oriented, but the Knight of Pentacles is known as the slowest card in the deck, right? This is somebody who is really considering what they have to offer, is considering the path forward and really taking their time. It's in reverse, which is not a bad thing at all. I think that as you're working through some of these imbalances, Taurus, during the month of November, and identifying where you've been out of balance and realizing, right, that you don't need to silence yourself, you don't need to minimize yourself, nor do you need to compromise your values in order to show up, in your own autonomy and authority, right? Deepening your commitment to self, to spirit, to your healing, right? You're going to start to feel movement forward. You're going to start to become a lot more clear about how to move forward. Now, I do think it's kind of funny that the Knight of Pentacles in reverse is clarified by the Five of Swords upright when we had the Five of Swords reverse. There may be a point, perhaps closer to the end of the month, Taurus, where you accept that there may be individuals that you need to cut off, that you need to cut ties with, and that you are going to have to accept the potential fallout, right? You're going to have to be clear. You're going to have to be upfront about your boundaries. You're going to have to be upfront about what doesn't work anymore, whether it's work, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whatever it is, right? Learning how to move forward and deal with the fact that, even if you're coming from a balanced place, a logical place, a respectful place, right? Oftentimes, no matter how careful you are, if there are people that are used to you showing up a certain way, right? If they're used to you showing up in a page energy, and now all of a sudden you're showing up in a king energy, they might be intimidated, right? They may be uncomfortable. They may be triggered, but that has nothing to do with you. That's not your responsibility, Taurus. All right, so we have the Five of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. So it may feel a bit, I think, right, as you are showing up in this energy, there might be some fears about how it's going to impact you, about being left out in the cold. Again, like, I don't know if this is work related. I don't know if this is family, love, and, Five of Pentacles can speak to being left out in the cold, but also financial constraints, financial stresses, but this can be perceived, right? This could be a fear that you have that, like, if I actually allow my values to guide me and I say no to work that doesn't align, if I say no to friends or, loved ones that like they're no longer aligned, how is that going to affect me? But you're really, really working in the month of November, Taurus, on changing your perspective. The Hanged Man is all about taking a step back, right? Taking a deeper perspective, taking a step back from the noise and really allowing yourself to see things as they truly are so that you can have that balanced perspective with regard to how you show up and how you deal with people and situations. Can I get some additional insights here for Taurus, please, for November? There are a lot of options available to you. And I think, right, as you're starting to balance things out within your energy, Taurus, and you're starting to show up in your king energy, I think it's going to become obvious to you that you have more options available to you than you thought. And that can either be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on the individual. Page of Wands. So this is like a fresh, passionate start forward, right? Where things really start to become, there's more momentum to move forward. 10 of Swords. Now, like I have said before, that the minor arcana only go up to 10. So this is the end to a painful cycle. This is an end to mental conflict, mental turmoil. I think the month of November is all about you letting go of people, places, and things that make you feel conflicted. Allowing the chips to fall where they may, letting people be disappointed, mad, triggered because it has nothing to do with you, and no longer playing the part, Taurus, that other people want you to play, because this is your life, Taurus. All right, can I get another card for Taurus? Close this reading out. Any additional insights or messages, Spirit? 5 of Wands, but it's in reverse. You're just done with people, places, and situations that cause you drama, that cause you conflict. I think you're also done with lying to yourself, Taurus, or sabotaging yourself. You're going to really come into this place where you're like, you know what? I'm responsible for me and you're responsible for you, and I'm going to start showing up as exactly the person that I know I am. I'm going to do the things that I know are in alignment with me, and I know that the universe is going to provide me with stable, abundant opportunities, and I'm no longer afraid of how people are going to look at me. I'm moving forward. I'm following my heart. I'm letting things end that need to end. And I'm not dealing with anybody that is here to cause me inner conflict or drama, or that's going to judge me or give me unsolicited advice. I'm trusting myself, and I'm letting go of all of the patterns and ways of being that have sabotaged me in the past. So I love to see this for you, Taurus. I'm going to leave it there, but I am going to close it out with a card from the Fairy Blessings Oracle. So we have a blessing of Brigid's Flame. Let me pull that up in the book. All right. A blessing of Brigid's Flame. The fairy gift to light the dark spaces, to bring spring to the heart's winter. She chooses to bring you her gift now, a fairy blessing to light the darkness and bring warmth to you once again. Her heart is a flame, her eyes like 2 green lakes, and her hair a field of gold. She is the goddess Brigid. She who unites us, she who protects us, she who inspires us has claimed you as under her watch and protection. Brigid is a fairy goddess of flame, flame from the cleanest, most primal source. Her name means bright arrow, almost as if she is a ray of light directly from the sun. And this fiery ignition is a key to the birthing of ideas and ideals, and thus, in this way, she brings her fire to your blessing and ensures you will be warmed, that sacred hospitality will reign, that all will be welcomed, that solar light will burn brightly for you. Brigid's fairy light is a brightness that brings warmth, new life, and even the rebirth of our souls to us all. Bridget is able with her fairy flame to burn away within us whatever is harming us, and she is able to illuminate our very best traits with it too. She will help you, who receives this blessing of her holy fires, move further into your own creative power in healthy, beneficial ways that help people contribute from their very best selves. She oversees creative endeavors, poetry, so the words that are spoken will touch our souls. She is a smith, so she helps us create alchemy, the bringing together of differences in order to create something greater, something united. And she is transcendent of labels. Call her what you will, goddess, saint, pagan, fairy, woman. She will bring wealth and healing and great good to all who receive this blessing. Where her sacred flame is, peace